Hi, this is Legato Assassin, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing something that, for some reason, we find ourselves in 2017 having to discuss. Is the Earth flat? We have known since about the time of the Greeks, which was about 3,000 years ago, that the Earth is a sphere, that it's a ball, that it's round. How did we know that it was round 3,000 years ago when we didn't have satellites, telescopes, spaceships, rockets, any of that crap? How did we know that the Earth was flat? Sorry, how did we know that the Earth was round? Jesus. There's a couple of things that we can do on Earth to test the hypothesis that the Earth is round. The first thing you can do is you can look at the moon. When you look at the moon, depending on what phase you're in, particularly if you're in a crescent moon, you'll see this dark curve going around the moon, going around the inside of the moon. And what that is, that's the Earth's shadow. Well, that's it. It's the Earth's shadow. The Earth's blocking sunlight, so the sunlight is hitting the moon and only reflecting a little bit back, because the moon doesn't give off sunlight; it reflects sunlight. So you can see that there's this curve, and that's the curve of the Earth blocking out the light from the sun. The other thing you can do is, and this is one of the things they did in the time of the Greeks, they had two old wells, those wells that used to dig down, used to bring up water. If you have two wells far enough apart, when the sun is directly overhead at 12 o'clock, you could see directly into the well. There would be no shadow. But at the exact same time, say a mile away, at the exact same time, 12 o'clock, you wouldn't see all the way down into the well. There would be a slight shadow, and that is caused by the Earth's curvature. And so that's kind of how they knew. There was something called retrograde motion. I don't want to get too kind of nerdy and too scientific-y, but retrograde motion is when you watch the planets orbit in the night sky. When you see them move in the night sky, you'll see that they will start to move around to the left. Then they'll do like a little loop, and then they go sort of down, and then go back round to the right, and then they come up and then come back round to the left again. And you get this almost like a shoelace kind of motion in the sky. This is done over the course of about 6 months, every night. And the reason it does it is because as the Earth and, say, Mars, as they're moving in orbit around the sun, as their position shifts, the imprint on the back night sky gives the appearance that Mars is moving backwards. It's a little bit like if you are going to overtake someone. If you're driving down the highway or the motorway and you go to overtake someone and you're doing it on a curve, you can make it look as though the car you're overtaking, if you overtake on the inside, you can make it look like the car is moving backwards, because you overtake on the inside, you accelerate, and it looks like the car goes backwards. And that's kind of the same thing as what we see with what's called retrograde motion. Bring it up into the 21st century, how do you explain days? How do you explain time zones? How can you call someone up in New York and it be midnight in New York, but it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK and the sun's up? How do you explain seasons? The reason we have seasons isn't because the Earth gets further away from the sun, it's because the Earth is on a tilt. It's tilted slightly on its axis, and as it rotates around as it orbits around the sun, depending on where that tilt is, will govern what season you have. And you only get seasons due to the Earth's tilt and the fact that it rotates. A lot of common arguments that you will get for things like the Earth being flat are things like, when I go up in an aeroplane, you look at the horizon and it's flat. Well, yeah, that's because you haven't gone up far enough. But if you can look at videos of Russian MiGs, Russian fighter planes, and they'll take you right up into the top of the stratosphere. and you will see the Earth curve. The Earth... it's crazy that we have these conversations, because people seem to want to be a part of something that is very almost elite. Like, we know something you don't know. The Earth's actually flat. But the truth is it's not. The truth is that the Earth is a sphere. And we've known about this for thousands of years. If the Earth were flat, scientists, the government, NASA, everybody, all these kind of government, all these scientific bodies have absolutely no reason to hold back the truth. They don't stand to gain anything. And if the Earth is flat, where are the photos? Why don't we have some photos of this giant ice wall that goes around Antarctica, apparently? There are no photos of it whatsoever. Anyway, this video is coming to a close. I had a lot more to say about this. I might do another one. If you like the video, give it a like. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next video. Please remember that the Earth is flat. Let the evidence take you to a conclusion. Don't hold a conclusion and then find evidence to support it. Anyway, I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Goodbye.